All right, we're picking up here in a crowded room. We're going to finish up by cutting out the doors for this. And the doors you're going to see typically, depending on the offsets, the math is it's a half inch, half the wall math. So if you've got a 1 foot offset, but your center lines are, it gets a little bit more difficult. 1 foot offset then becomes 1 foot minus 2.5, which is 9.5. So offset 9.5. Offset 9.5. Click here, and then offset 3. And this is in case, and remember, it's offset 3 feet. Offset 3 feet. Click here, and again, once again, offset 3 feet. From here to here, and then it's trim. Screw that. Click back, and then you can potentially get rid of this here, and you've got now your centerline walls start to fall in place. Wall-wise, again, 7 minus 2.5 is 6, 9.5. Offset 6 feet, 9.5. Remember, you do not have to put the inches, it's there for you. And this is offset 2 feet, 4 inches. Once again, trim, screw that. Screw that means you just click right through that and you don't give it typically because your eye can see what you want. You got a door there. This next one is 10.7. This would be plus 2.5. 10 offset 10 9.5. 10 feet 9.5. Click across here. That door is 2 feet 8 inches. Click across here and there. Once again, trim, screw that. Brake would work as well, but in this case you're using trim. You got a door opening set there. Going back down through, looking at circulation, you have 311 plus 2.5 is 4, 1.5. Offset 4 feet, 1.5. Click here. You then have an offset 2 feet 8 inches. Click here. Trim, screw that. Erase that out. Sometimes you wouldn't erase out because you're looking then for door. This one here you have 3.7 plus 2.5, 3.9.5. Offset 3 feet, 9.5 inches. This is as much about learning to not give up on math. Offset 2 feet, 8 inches. But also to get the fact that the guy who wrote the book, trim, screw that, he might not know necessarily all the best ways and what's coming and going within CAD. Last one, 2 feet minus 2.5, which would be 1 foot 9.5. Offset 1 foot 9.5 inches. Come across here. Now offset 3 feet. Trim. Screw that. Going to go ahead and erase that and that. You kind of now have the whole basis. The last thing left is where you're going to put your blocks. If you look at the repeating shapes and windows, you basically all have, mostly are the same windows, but you've got 4-foot windows and 5-foot windows. That can be done actually with the dynamic block. And later on you're going to see the locations of those we'll finish out with right now by putting on a new layer just, or a little tick. So I'm going to go ahead right now and just add a little tick at each of my doors as I finish out this window. The centers, once again, because you can get used to how the dimensioning goes. I'm going to go new for now. I'll go ahead and put a layer on for now. I'll just put it on the baselines layer. And what I'll do is I'll do a line from the end point here, a little short pauses and puts it here. So I'm going to turn on, I'm going to say at 1 foot at an angle of 0. I now have a line out there which I can offset 5, 6 minus, plus 2.5, 5, 8.5. Offset 5 feet, 8.5. That gets me the center of one window. The next one is 12, 6. offset 12 feet, 6 inches. Remember, the inches is there for you. You've got your 2 windows along there. You can kind of continue the idea. I'm going to go ahead and just do a little bit of interest here till we fill this out in our last 10 minutes. I'm going to left click spacebar, C for copy, shift right click, endpoint. Left click spacebar, going to rotate 90 degrees. And I now have something I can offset going across to my next 22 foot 3. Once again, add 2.5, 20, subtract 2.5, so 22 feet, 0.5. Offset 22 feet, 0.5. Select my object, come across to there. I've got that window in. Same thing going across to finish it. Remember, we can left click spacebar, C for copy, to the endpoint here. Learn to practice your skills. Left click spacebar, rotate 90. Now I can offset that to the center line, 10 feet, and then 10 feet, but I have to remember now I'm going to subtract 2.5, 9 and a half. Offset 9 feet, 9.5 inches. Going to go from here, and then you've got your offset of 10 feet. From here to there. You come down to there, again you're erasing out each of your ticks. You're going to left click spacebar, C for copy, shift right click, endpoint here. You're going to left click spacebar, rotate 90 degrees with your right hand. Now you can finally finish off with that 6, 6. Once again, you're going to have to actually subtract 2.5 inches. You're at 6, 3.5, offset 6 feet, 3.5. Remember, the inches is for you, not for the computer. It knows the base unit is inches. And you're then finally left with this last one here. Left click spacebar, rotate. In this case, it is a 90-degree turn. Turn it the wrong way, so I can rotate last. Doesn't remember that, so I'm going to go undo. Going to left click spacebar, rotate minus 90. Now I can offset 6, 6. Remember, now you've got to actually subtract 2.5, so that's 6, 3.5. Offset 6 feet, 3.5 inches. Come across here, and now you have essentially the entire drawing, with the exception of the special blocks for door swings, which is a standard block available out in a standard library. Typically, it's typical door swings, and then the work for the bathroom. All right, we're in about 15 minutes total, and we are good. Thanks for listening.